Hello and welcome to the List Building Diaries. My name's June Morrow, and each week I do a video confessional of what I did this week to build my mailing list. So today is Saturday, May 14th, 2022. You know it's true because I wrote it on this piece of paper. And last week, my mailing list was 341 subscribers. This week, drum roll please, 342, whoop, whoop. Actually, this is fantastic because in reality, this week I gained 4 new subscribers and I lost 3. And as I mentioned in last week's video, which you can access above, it's actually not a bad thing when people unsubscribe from your email list because you're not for everyone and what you offer isn't for everyone. And you really want your list to be people who want what you offer or need to hear from you or whose hearts connect with you or who resonate with you in some way, shape, or form. You don't want people at your party who don't want to be at your party. So how did I find these subscribers? Where did they come from? Well, I got one of them through a Facebook post, a social media post that advertised my opt-in, my free masterclass, how to find clients when social media isn't doing it for you. And 3 of them came in through my twice weekly event, The Knockout. Boom. That's what I have to do every time I say that. The Knockout. Boom. And The Knockout is a online content co-working session with added coaching on your messaging. So this is a new thing that I started recently, and this week I had 3 lovely coaches attend, actually 4 lovely coaches, but one of them was already on my list, attend this, and because I've worked with them now, I can put them on my list. So I got people through that, which was amazing. And how did those people find out about it? Well, they found out about it through a larger network that I'm a part of, a network of women, a lot of whom are entrepreneurs, called Happy Healthy Women. So if you're interested in learning more about Happy Healthy Women, I have an affiliate link below that you can get a discount and a membership. So you can check it out and then click on that affiliate link if you'd like to join. Now, 3 people, 3-4 new people on your list isn't huge. However, when those people are coming to your list because they've interacted with you, because they've seen you, because they've had an experience with you where you've demonstrated your expertise in real life, that is far more valuable than having someone join your list who doesn't know you, who may or may not be the right fit for you, and who, frankly, has no trust in you. Right? So it's important to grow your list, but also you want, there's different ways to do this. And when you're an emerging coach or a transformational consultant or a light worker of some sort, it really helps to have those experiences one-on-one because that's where you're going to build your network. That's where you're going to build trust. And that's where, people are going to see that you are an expert and you can make a difference. So I'm feeling pretty good about those 4 new people on my list, and especially the 3 who came to the Knockout. So if you're interested in the Knockout, I will also include a link below. So what did I do this week to grow my list? Well, as I mentioned, I ran the Knockout, which is one of my list growing things. I put out 2 videos on YouTube, which is also one of my longer term list growing strategies. So this week I did an interview with Gemma Fong, who is an SEO, search engine optimization, and website expert. And she talks all about that. You can check that out with the link above. I also I posted the video, I edited a little bit and put the video up from my last video confessional. And I taped a new video this week, which I'll be dropping next week, on how to find your talisman, which is kind of like a magical object that can give you confidence when you're not feeling it. All you have to do is hit subscribe and you'll be notified of when that video comes up. So I did that. I also attended an online networking event. When I attend a networking event, one thing that I do is I always drop a link to my freebie just in case somebody needs it. So I can't remember if I reached out to anyone from that networking event. I can't remember if there was anybody who was kind of in my ideal client range, but it's always a great way to meet more people and especially find people who can refer you. And I talk more about this in my free masterclass, How to Find Clients When Social Media Isn't Doing It For You. I also shared a post demonstrating why, what the opt-in could give you and who it's for. So I really talked about the idea of hiding behind social media, which is something that some of my clients do. They spend a lot of time scrolling and they create posts that don't really invite people to work with them or don't really land with their ideal clients. So I created a post about that, showing that how if you watch How to Find Clients, if you watch the free masterclass, that you'll learn some other ways to do things, so you can break out of the cycle of hiding and start developing some confidence, the confidence that comes from connections. So I put that up there as well. I also reached out to some people. I made a list of who I thought would be good types of experts to interview for 5 things, which is my weekly interview on this channel. And then I reached out to some people. I went through my list of networks and the people in my network, and I thought, who would be a good person? I reached out to 5 different people, asked them if they'd be interested in a video. 3 of them got back to me, which is fantastic. And 2 of them I've set up meetings with next week. So you may be hearing from them in the future. And when I did this, I looked at people who have stories or wisdom that they could bring to my audience, and also people who have a large audience of their own, because you want to be able to reach people in these collaborations, right? You don't want to just do a video with somebody who's then going to disappear and never tell anybody about what you're doing. So that's part of my strategy as well. So I did that. So what slowed me down this week? What were my challenges? Well, once again, editing took a really long time. I spent a day and a half editing, just editing this week. And after a while, that really drains me. It's not my favorite thing to do. I can do it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. And I thought I was simplifying the editing, but apparently I haven't been. So last week I talked about this idea of getting help and perhaps hiring an intern to help me with the editing. And this week I talked to someone at a company called Acadium about working with them and getting an from their service. So they match entrepreneurs with digital marketing students who are looking for experience that they can put on their resume for references, all that sorts of thing. And it sounded really great. I got really excited about it. They have 2 offers. You can get 1 intern for 3 months, or you can get 2 interns for a year. So and either way, it's like 10 hours a week, or it's 10 hours a week per intern. So I thought, wow, 20 hours a week from 2 interns. How great would that be? And then my inner voice, my inner critic, started freaking out and having a major meltdown. And that triggered another inner voice that led to another, kind of just escalated, right? So there was this voice, you can't afford that. You shouldn't be spending your money on interns. You should get a job. And then the other voice, yeah, loser, get a job. You're such a loser. You could do this. You're just going to waste it. It's been so long. You've been trying to do this business thing. And, when are you going to get it right? Blah, 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 blah. Just ma, 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 ma. And then other voices, oh, be nice to yourself. Right? So it's just like this big cacophony of squawky voices. But those voices are actually serving a purpose, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. So that slowed me down. That really sent me into a freak out. And, why does this happen? I'm going to share this in a moment. Around the same time, I attended a workshop put on by Natalie Calalillo. And I'm sorry, Natalie, I'm probably saying your last name wrong. But she runs Happy Healthy Women. And she was giving a workshop on how to find people who will work for you, how to grow your team. That's what the topic was. And so she talked about mentoring and internships and whether you should hire a VA or a freelancer or, whether you should hire someone full time. And so that really helped me get clarity on, I think 1 mentor would be good at this point, because that gives me enough time to kind of develop them. And I do love to mentor. That's what I do. And I think it would be a great experience if I can find the right person. However, going to her workshop, one of the questions that she talked about was giving yourself space to work in your zone of genius. And so we did the exercise where you think about, what is your ideal day? If you could have any day, what would it look like? Who would be the people around you? How would they be supporting you? And my ideal day is always either doing this, speaking into a camera, maybe we're out on location somewhere, or speaking on stage to a larger audience. I love public speaking. Or writing a book, writing a blog post, writing something inspiring, or hanging out with people, going to lunch, interviewing people. So a lot of the things I'm doing in my life right now, but last week was definitely not the majority of time spent doing those things. And so then the inner critic got hard on me again. You're not doing, how long have you had this dream to be a professional motivational speaker? How long, blah, blah, blah. You're not doing it, right? So hard. These voices inside of me are so hard on me. And this resistance that came up, right? So instead of just, so I'm going to hire an intern. I'm going to train them up. I'm going to create some space so that I can do more videos, so I can reach out to more people, so I can work more in my zone of genius where I feel called to make the biggest difference. Instead of, taking time to just be like, let's fill out that application, let's send some money over, and let's hire an intern. I just got sidelined with this resistance. So I did what I do sometimes. I spent some time journaling with the resistance. I spent some time in meditation, and then I pulled out the cards, right? So this is one deck that I have. It's called the Enchanted Map deck. I really don't like this deck because sometimes it gives me the answers I don't want to hear, but I need to hear. So if I'm in a really not great relationship with somebody, but the sex is really good and I want to stay with them, right? It'll be like, you're not in a great relationship, time to move on. I'll be like, I didn't want to hear that, but I need to hear it. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just see what happens. So I pulled 3 cards from this deck, and wow, bang on. All 3 cards were upside down, and you always say, oh, the cards are upside down. Oh my gosh. But in this case, they all had the perfect message for me. So one was solitude, upside down. So the opposite of solitude, stop being alone. You're spending too much time alone. Now is the time to develop relationships and friendships. And oh my gosh, is it ever? Yes, it's definitely the time, and I'm doing that in my social life, working on it in this new place where I'm living in Prince Edward Island, but also in my business. And I really do believe that for me, connection is going to be the key. And I believe that's the key for almost all of my clients, connecting with spirit, connecting with what's going on inside, and then connecting with the people that they are called to serve, right? And there's many just different ways to do this. And this is what we talk about in the Authentic Messaging Academy. It's all about, how do you connect? And then the second card that I pulled was the Field of Dreams card, upside down. Oh no, my Field of Dreams is all falling into the sky. Well, not true. So really this card was asking me, are you being true to your desires and your talents? Or are you trying to do something just to get wealth or security or material possessions, right? And definitely I'm down with security. We all need security. We all need to feel that there is a certain base that is holding us up. But more and more I'm learning that base comes when you have a solid base within yourself, right? And sometimes that base is in trusting yourself, in trusting the ideas, and trusting your dreams. So it asked, are you being true to yourself, is really what this question was asking me. And after doing Natalie's workshop, I was like, no, because I'm spending all my time editing, right? Editing really, really slows me down. And what I love doing, as I said, is this. So how do I do more of this, right? And how do I speak more about spirit, which is also something I'm really drawn to talk about, right? How do I infuse more spirituality into the work I do, helping people with their communications? Because visibility is really about that. It's about gathering the courage to be authentic, to be true, And sometimes we can lean on spirit for support because it's always with us. So there was that. And then the third card was One Ring Circus, again upside down. So now is not the time to be a one ring circus. Now is the time. It said to let go of control. Yeah, I'm into that. Definitely, I have a little bit of a problem of trying to control everything, reform perfectionist. So time to let go of control. Let source take over and stop telling yourself you have to do it all yourself. So yes, this is a very clear sign that now is the time to get some help. So that will be coming up in the future weeks. Next week, I'm going to be applying with Acadium and seeing if I can find an intern who would be great to work with me. Yeah, so I brought all of this on Thursday to my therapist, which was fantastic. We're doing something called internal family systems. Is the methodology of therapy that she's using and that I'm working through. And really what internal family systems is, if I haven't talked about it before, is it's a way of looking at what's going on inside of you. And especially when you're feeling stuck, when you're feeling blocked, we've heard a lot about beliefs, right? What are your inner beliefs? What's your inner critic? Well, with internal family systems, you've got multiple inner critics that all have different beliefs. And sometimes these are conflicting beliefs. And these are parts of you that were stuck at a different ages. And then they developed protectors, which are really like what your inner critics might be in many cases. And those protectors are trying to keep the hurt parts of you at the different ages from being hurt again. And so we did some really great healing through, we worked with one of my inner critics, the one that keeps telling me I'm a failure and that I'm going to fail because it thinks it has to protect this little girl who won't get attention if she doesn't succeed. And so we were able to access both of those. So did some really great stuff. I'm totally not liberated, right? Like there's a lot of more work to do there, but I'm starting to feel a lot more grounded. So that was good. So that didn't really get in my way, but that's something that I did to kind of help get out of my way. Another thing that did get in my way this week, or slowed me down, I shouldn't say get in my way, but slowed me down from doing everything that I wanted to do, was I actually had work. I had some freelance writing work that I was doing for a client, and that took a day, about a day and a quarter to do. And so that kind of, took me away from doing the stuff that I'm doing here. And then the other thing that took half a day this week was life. And in hindsight, and I'm going to say hindsight is funny because just listen to this. In hindsight, I think this actually happened to send me a message. So earlier this week, I got in my car and my rear view mirror was just dangling like on a wire. And it was like, it was almost like something that you would hang from the dashboard, right? I couldn't see out the back with it at all. I tried duct taping it up. It fell down again. And I think this is actually, so I had to bring it in to get fixed. And then while I was up getting it fixed, I decided to go get some lawn furniture to put out front because it's so beautiful here this week. So that took half an hour, or like half a day actually. But I believe that this rear view mirror dangling bit was actually the universe's sign to say, stop looking back. And this is really important because I've been through a massive change over the past month. I've changed locations. In 2 months, I broke up with somebody who I was very close with. My business is kind of taking a more authentic direction. And this week and I'm guilty of this, I have been missing the ex and kind of thinking about him and debating, should I contact him even though there's really no reason to? And why do I want to do that? What would be that coming from that? And again, that's coming from a hurt part of me. That's coming from a part that needs healing that he can't heal. Only I can heal it, right? With the help of Source and maybe with the help of my therapist and people who understand what's actually going on. So yeah, my rear view mirror broke, and in retrospect, I'm really grateful for that message. Stop looking back. You can't move forward when you're looking in the rear view mirror. So what did I learn this week? Well, just what I said. You can't look forward when you're looking in the rear view mirror. I also learned Oh, yeah. I heard this actually this morning and I loved it. The more brightly you shine, the more deeply you will trigger your core wounds. So it's not surprising I had a freak out last week about money because, yeah, I'm about to step into a new thing, having somebody work for me, which is a new thing, right? In my own business. So that may happen to you. New level, new devil. So if you're freaking out, it just means that this is a great opportunity to push through. I also learned that sometimes slow growth is happening so that you can appreciate the people around you. There's a time for rapid growth and there's a time for slow growth. And I think really the universe right now really wants me to be present. God wants me to appreciate more, right? Because gratitude, when you're happy with what you have, what more could you ask for? And then happiness comes to you because you're noticing it. So I think appreciation is very important. In my church group this week, we're doing lessons on like slowing down and taking breaks and restfulness and Sabbath and all these things that are really about being present to the moment. So that was a big lesson this week, is be present to the moment. I've been practicing that. And I think my biggest learning this week was that your inner critics, and sometimes people say like, banish your inner critic, shut off your inner critic, shut down your inner critic. And this is not going, it's going to work temporarily, but those inner critics are going to come back. And as I said, the reason is because according to internal family systems, they're parts of you. And so what I'm learning is to love and befriend those inner critics, because they're really just like children stuck at a certain age. So, yeah. So this week, a lot more compassion, a lot more slowing down. I did the Pomodoro. Last week I talked about the Pomodoro technique. So I was sitting and standing every 25 minutes. My pain in the butt, the sciatica is getting better. Still there when I sit for too long. Life is continuing to grow. I'm continuing to clear out some of those inner things that have been keeping me back, and connecting, and hopefully connecting more deeply. And if this video, if you watched this long, wow, thank you, bless you. And if this video resonated with you and you want to stay apprised of my journey, or you simply want more tips to help you on your own journey, tips in terms of how to be more visible, how to overcome mindset stuff, but also tips, practical tips on how to craft messages, what to say in your messages, email versus social media, all those sorts of things that you need to know when you're marketing a business, a heart-centered business. I would love for you to subscribe. And until we meet again, I want you to remember this: you got this.